What's up, everybody? I want to talk about Hitler's flying saucers. I'm gonna put this link in the description where you can download this, and also Secrets of the Third Reich you can watch on YouTube. Talks about Hitler UFOs. But I just want to just let everybody know that like I said, I made a video about UFOs before, and I've said that possibly the UFOs that we have seen are man-made. And I believe that until we have proof otherwise that they're extraterrestrial, I'm going to continue to say that the UFOs that you have ever seen are man-made until proven otherwise. Hitler was building the SS. Germans were building UFOs during World War II, y'all. You know, and this document state this is a book talking about it. It gives you proof. It gives you resources to look into. Don't take this word for it. If you don't believe this book, you don't have to take his word for it. It gives you references. It gives you other information to look into and discover the truth for yourself. Because you should never just take anybody's word for it. But here I hear a scientist with the rocket ship. I'm just gonna go by, scroll down. That's the famous von Braun right here, scientist with the SS Army. Those are rocket ships. These are I think those are the bases. Looks like a plane. These right here are underground factories during World War II when they had to move production underground because they were getting bombed by the Allies. Another underground facility. Another camouflaged base, rockets. Now I'm going to go into, this is like 169 page. This right here are the developments of the craft, this flying saucer. We got drawings. We got flying. We got saucers right there. Drawings right here. Saucer. Drawings. Yeah, you got letters, you got documents. And the Germans also invented those orbs, those metallic orbs that you see on YouTube. They came from Germans, they came from the SS, they came from Hitler. It talks about that here on page 46. Talks about the orbs, how they, and it fascinating, and they built, the Germans built, they had all type of weapons. They had weapons. The orbs was a type of weapon that will, they say if you shot it or something, it would give off some type of ionized electricity that would shut down your engine, your airplane engine. They called them Foo Fighters. As you can see right here, they talked about, this is on page 46. They go into the Foo Fighters, they call them, which are orbs. And that's an orb right there. These are two orbs right here with the German planes flying with the German floating mystery ball and his new Nazi air weapon, as you can see right there. This is 1940s, y'all. And we seeing all these orbs on YouTube. The US government knew the truth all along. They knew, or they found out after they defeated the Germans. They confiscated all the German weapons, all the German UFOs, the orbs. They got all the German. They even confiscated The scientists. We all know they got the scientists. The German scientists which helped them make the atomic bomb. This is the officer handwritten letter talking about the orbs. The Germans, y'all, they had, and I've been looking into Atlantis, airborne objects watched. The Germans had what you would call, they had tapped into what you would call the occult knowledge, sacred geometry, and this is what Atlantis, this is what the civilization Atlantis had, and this is what brought the Atlantis civilization down. Their knowledge brought them, destroyed them. And I think the German was advancing way too fast. They had ideas. They was channeling extraterrestrial knowledge, because this is way too advanced. All this stuff, way too advanced for that time period. They was developing laser weapons. They was developing X-ray weapons. X-ray weapons, laser weapons, ionization off the atmosphere to halt ignition-based systems. Like I said, they studied the Eastern, Western, they studied the Hinduism, they studied the Eastern. They somehow got a hold to occult knowledge. And the scientists were already brilliant, but they somehow got a hold to this ancient knowledge of you would call occult magic, black magic, and they mixed that in with their scientists, and they was able to do magical things. Like they say, we all have access to this consciousness, to this knowledge, if we know how to access it. Right here, Nazis had 10,000 mile per hour atom plane in theory. These jokers had so many ideas for the destruction of mankind. Now, if they could have used those same ideas to help mankind instead of trying to rule the world, it probably would have still been here. The Germans were planning a nuclear-powered flying saucer just as they were planning a nuclear-powered submarine. This shit is so deep. But you know that our government perpetuates, and the media perpetuates, all UFOs, they're alien, they're extraterrestrial, they're alien from outer space, you know, because they make money off it. It's big money. Hollywood makes money off it. The government feeds us a lot of misinformation. The government don't want to acknowledge what the SS did, what the Army did. I mean, what the Germans did, what the Nazis did. Our government don't want to acknowledge that, because they, in some aspect, they showed our government up. Our government took their scientists and took their technology and learned from it. They were way ahead of us in this aspect. And the reason they probably didn't win a war, because they were still developing these weapons. They didn't perfect these weapons yet. And I think their allies also turned on them, which probably surprised the hell out of them. But yeah, this is deep stuff. like I said, we have, like I said, it says right here, we have been presented with this line of reasoning for years, and the UFOs are of terrestrial origin theory. Indeed, some writers see an extraterrestrial origin for German UFOs also, as we shall see, but just stating that UFOs are of occult or alien origin is not an explanation in itself. It says right here, the ancient Indian 7 claimed to have constructed, they talked about returning to Earth. Another theory is that the German scientists were influenced by some ideas originating in Asia, Tibet, and India. There's like books say, I mean, like, you know, the Bible and other books talk about there's nothing new under the sun. UFOs have been reported over Magnolia, Tibet, and India for centuries. The UFO is not a new phenomenon. The UFO has always been on this planet for centuries, created by other civilizations with the knowledge of sacred geometry. Tibet and India had this knowledge long ago. The ancient Indian 7 claimed to have constructed aircraft which resemble flying saucers. These saucers are called Vimanas, which I talked about in my other video. Ancient Indian texts in Sanskrit speak of the flight and manufacture of these saucers. Like I said, I believe the German had access to this information, which I know they did. It says right here, the German, an organization whose purpose is associated with researching Germanic ancestry, sent out expeditions to the east with the express purpose of acquiring ancient hidden knowledge. This is precisely what Heinrich Harrer was doing, whose book served as the basis for the film 7 Years in Tibet. This link between flying saucers of the East and West is suspected as an influence on German field propulsion vehicles. The exact connection, though, has never been demonstrated. There you go. That tells you everything. And they had this. Imagine what they have now. They was doing this in 1940, in the 1930s and 40s, y'all. Imagine what they can do now. Imagine it. All those orbs y'all been seeing, all those unidentified flying objects y'all been seeing, gotta be, I mean, it gotta be USA. It gotta be man-made. They was making it back here, back in their day. Ain't no telling what type of weapon they have now. Ain't no telling what type of craft they done built. I ain't gonna say, well, I say it's gotta be man-made, but I would base 95% that it's man-made. I would suspect that it's 95% man-made. Just based on this book alone. If you dig deep enough, you're gonna find truth. Nazi UFO, German UFO, talk about Project Blue Book, photos from the Project Blue Book field of UFO that hover over New York City. So, man, and even the Nation of Islam, Elijah Muhammad talked about the mothership. He claimed God was in the mothership, but he said something that made me doubt what he said. Because if God was in the mothership, he said the mothership was built on earth, was built by man, was built on earth. Well, if God was flying in the mothership, why was it built on earth? Why was it built by man? That tells me right there, Elijah Muhammad was partly right. The mothership was built on earth, was built by man. Look at that. Real. Like I said, this is nothing new. They had this technology in ancient days, and they destroyed themselves with this technology. We can do powerful things, ladies and gentlemen. All this stuff is real. Life is stranger than fiction. Life is stranger than the movies. Peace out.